Hi everyone, we are Travel with Johnny and Will, and this is our day 5 video of what happened when we were in Alesund.
So we're on P&O Iona, and we're on it for 7 days, visiting Norway. And we started today by getting breakfast in the Quays restaurant. So the Quays, as we've explained before, there's like 3 little kiosks, and each, the first 2 will give you either a full English breakfast, or like pancakes or waffles and things like that. And then the third one is sort of like a buffet station where you can literally take what you want. And then round the corner, there's a selection of smoothies, there's juice, there's fruit, salad, things like that, pastries. But we found that after the first day of going to the buffet, which was a nightmare, we have found now that the Quays restaurant is definitely a lot more quieter for breakfast. So if you want less chaos, that's where I would go.
Yeah, so Hook, Line and Vinegar had the waffles and the pancakes. The Fusion place had all to do with eggs, so like scrambled eggs,
or omelets,
poached eggs. And then it was, what's the American one called?
That's Boardwalk, is it Broadway?
Broadway.
Yeah.
Had the buffet selection of your cooked breakfast items.
Yeah, I had butcher muesli, and then I had like hash browns, bacon, sausage, beans, eggs. So you had waffles, did you have that day?
Yeah, I had the waffles from the first kiosk, which was the Hook, Line and Vinegar.
Did you?
I put maple syrup and ice and sugar on them, and they were really nice. Yeah, and then I also had some fruit. The only thing that I didn't really like about this venue is they don't have cereals anywhere. So I would have liked a little bit of cereal, but that's fine.
It's a small price to pay for less chaos, so we'll make do. So it had been snowing, so we decided to go outside. So we went to the back of the ship, and is it the Suns? I can't remember the name of the bar, but there was like Sunset Bar it's called or something.
It's the one behind the clubhouse.
Yeah, so we went outside and literally just sort of stood out in the snow actually, just looking around Alesund, and there was actually surprisingly no one in the hot tubs. But would you go in the hot tub if what do you call it? If it was like snowing, but obviously the hot tub's hot, would you still dip a toe in the hot tub? Answer in the comments below, peeps. We didn't though, but we headed back then to the cabins to get ready to go off and explore.
So as we were leaving the cabin, making our way to the lift, we noticed that there's screens that are at each side of the lift bank are quite helpful. They show what day it is really, what port you're at, what your all aboard time is, what the weather is, and if you need to take like your passports off with you.
Yeah.
So that's quite helpful actually.
Yeah. And what we would also say is, just as a tip for people, is that whenever you're going ashore, in your Horizon magazine that you get put through your door every night, there is obviously the telephone numbers to the ship and things like that. So we, on the first day that we went ashore, we took a photograph of that, so we had it. You just never know, so if you so it's always better just to be on the safe side to have that, just in case you run into trouble whenever you went ashore. So we had no plans for this port. Whenever we headed outside, you will see that there's lots of little huts, and lots of people
Trying to get your money.
So there's lots of people there. They're all selling different tours. There are 2 hop on, hop off options. There is the city sightseeing brand, and then there is sightseeing, hop on, hop off. So we went with that option. We'll put on the screen how much that cost us, but it's literally the trip itself, if you just stay on the bus and just go for the whole tour, lasts around 70 to 80 minutes, and literally from where you get off the ship, it's not even 5 minutes to walk to where you get the bus.
Yeah. And that tour operator actually said they had 5 buses operating today, which was one of the reasons why we thought we would take that one, because we'd seen 2 of the buses pass. I don't think we had seen one of the city sightseeing. So, yeah, we just went with that. And So yeah, it was just like literally a 2 to 3 minute walk from where we had bought the ticket to the little bus stop, and there was actually a person there as well organising the queue, and as it was split across a road, and obviously people know that British people love to queue, and this was no exception because it was just so well organised. And within like 5 minutes, we were on the bus and we were away to our first stop of the tour.
Yeah, and like to be honest with you, I was quite sort of surprised at how well sort of organised it was and how actually the city coped with the amount of tourists that day, because there was our ship that was in, there was an Ada ship which again was sort of very similar in size to us, so I think it holds about 6,000 people as well. And then on the other side of Ålesund, there was a Hurtigruten ship as well. So quite a lot of people on port today, but you wouldn't have really noticed it.
Yeah.
Maybe the weather made a difference because maybe some people didn't go ashore. But yeah.
So luckily for us, when you first come to Alesund, the main thing you can see if you're on the right side of the ship is this really high like mountain, and there's this little zigzag all the way up. And luckily for us, that was the first stop that the bus did, so we didn't have to walk it.
I think there's like 482 steps up the mountain. Obviously, then you have to walk between the ship and to get to the bottom of the mountain.
And that was completely doable. That park at the bottom of those steps would not have been more than 10 minutes walk away from the ship. So, yeah.
We were glad though we just didn't have to climb the 482 steps. There were a few tired, puffed looking faces whenever they got to the top, and quite rightly so, I'm sure.
So when the tour bus got to the top, it actually stopped for 10 minutes. It didn't just drop and go, which is quite nice actually. It just meant if you wanted to get out and get a picture, you could do that and then know that your bus is waiting there.
So we decided just to take a few pictures. You've got beautiful views up there of where the port itself, where the ships were docked, and then over the other side of Ålesund as well. So you really did have a good sort of nearly 360 view from up there. So there are a few other stops on this tour. There's a stop for the Alesund church. There's one for the city centre. There's one for the aquarium. And the aquarium did sound quite good listening, whenever you listen to the audio description and things like that. It did sound quite good. However, there was quite a few people got off at that that stop. And we didn't. We just decided that we would just stay on the bus. It was a bit wet and miserable looking outside at that point, so we thought, no, we'll just stay on the bus. We'll just go round. We'll finish the tour. The tour was all right. One thing we do know is that clearly in Norway they're very proud of their education system, because we must have listened to the same bit of audio 4 times within the space of that 70 to 80 minutes about, did you know that Norway have the best education system and blah blah blah.
Although it surprised me how late the kids start school at 6.
6 they start school.
Which is quite late, I think.
Yeah. And although I suppose if you're a child, you probably are grateful you don't have to start school until you're 6. We just got off the bus again whenever we arrived back at the cruise port, and then from there we decided to go for a walk just into the town itself. So you'll find different shops. There's shops selling clothes and that. There's little shops you can go to if you're looking for snacks and beverages to bring back to the ship. Lots of cafes and restaurants. We made a wee stop at a couple of souvenir shops. We went to the information centre because there is a trip out to a lighthouse that we wanted to do with the cruise ship. We couldn't get it booked, sadly, so we wanted to see if you could do that sort of a trip, with the local operator. So we went to the tourist information just to sort of have a wee look and browse for the next time we return to Norway. And actually quite near there too, there's actually pharmacies as well. So if you needed any, if you need to stock up on, there's a lot of people with sniffles and things after being out in the cold. So if you need, us included too. So if you needed any sort of cold and flu remedies or decongestants and things like that, or even just a packet of tissues, there's a pharmacy there that you'll get all that.
After this, we made our way back on board and we headed to the quays for lunch. On the first day, I had the chicken katsu curry, but unfortunately on the first day it came with noodles, which was a bit of an odd choice, I thought. So luckily this day they had the chicken katsu curry with rice, and it was a lot better. I mean, the flavour was exactly the same, but it was just the practicality of a noodle flicking curry on me
Yeah.
versus rice. So yeah, that was really nice.
I had some of that too, and then I was still hungry, so I had. There's like a little the American sort of diner bit also I was gonna say also sells chicken. Also, you can get chicken pieces there, so I had like one piece of chicken and a little bit of salad, as well. And again, sort of around the corner, you'll see like a salad station and things set up, and it was really nice. Like the food there is nice.
Yeah, it's really good, yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's not chaotic. It's quite chilled. You know, you never have any trouble getting a seat there.
I think it's because there's like the main seating and then there's like Sindu bar seating, which the bar waiters come to and the waitresses collect from.
Yeah.
It's very well placed within the ship, you know, for overspill and all. It's great.
And then that afternoon, the skies cleared for our sail away.
It was beautiful.
And
Like a different season to what it had been in the morning when
Yeah.
there was snowing in the hot tubs.
and that's what people say whenever they come to Norway is they're like packed for 4 seasons because you just don't know which ones you're going to get. So after sail away, we headed then to the Opal restaurant for dinner. And tonight we both had chicken noodle soup to start with.
Yeah, yeah.
And then for my main, I had this slow cooked pork collar steak, with like spinach and mushroom, and then like a potato and sage strudel, and there was like roasted
That
carrots.
sounds like a lot of words.
It was a lot of but it was really nice. It was really nice. It was so delicious, and the meat was so well cooked. It literally just fell apart. So it did. I really enjoyed my meal that night.
I had the vegetarian option again, which was the vegetable tacos, and there was a little side of rice, and there was like avocado and salsa hidden in below as well.
Actually, I picked his meal tonight because after the past 2 nights, if you've watched our vlogs, when Will had his culinary disasters, we decided that he wasn't allowed to pick his own food. So tonight I picked his food for him, but I think I picked okay.
No, the tacos were really good, and it had those like crispy shells. If you like those tacos, and it actually held together. You know, like sometimes you like get a taco and it's a hard shell. You're trying to eat it and it just crumbles like a big crisp and everything falls out of it. But it didn't happen, so it was really good.
And then for dessert, I had this baked treacle tart, which was yummy.
Oh yeah, and your mum had that too. She liked it. I just played it safe and had some ice cream.
I wasn't allowing anything else. I wasn't taking the risk, so I wasn't tonight. So after dinner then, so service was a wee bit slower last night. I think because we were sort of watching the sail away, we kind of went for dinner slightly later. But when I say slightly later, I kind of mean about like 20 to 7. So it was slightly slower. And then after dinner, we headed to the theatre. The Headliners cast were doing their own show this evening, which was called Festivals, yeah. And again, a brilliant show. It did have a story line to it. It was about two groups of friends that go to a festival, and there's a bit of a love story that happens between two of them. And there's like a battle of the bands thing that goes on. It was a really easy story to follow and really enjoyable. The music was great in it. And like they're a talented bunch.
Yeah, I really feel like the cast you can tell they have a good relationship with each other because of the way they get on with each other and they joke about on stage. The show was actually really good. Like it was making us question our allegiance to Morella.
I know.
Because of Morella shows. Because Morella, the shows and the singers and dancers are very, very talented, but Morella will it'll be a show of songs.
Yeah.
Without any story. There might be a little bit of story, but there'll not be much dialogue.
No.
Which is the difference in piano's giving us this dialogue with the songs.
Yeah.
And it's making it a little bit more like an actual musical, which I really like.
And the other thing is too, the set design and things, I think more money has been
really good.
More money has sort of been spent on the sets, you know, in terms of, you know, as a production. So, you know, if you do like going to the theatre, but you don't make an effort to go whenever you're on a cruise, if you're on Iona and the festivals is on, definitely go and see it. You'll not be disappointed. Well, we hope you won't be disappointed. So after the show then, we wanted to go to the club lounge?
No, clubhouse.
Clubhouse. Clubhouse. We hadn't really seen much of the party band, which is called Pulse, on board yet. So we decided we wanted to go and see them. And they were doing like a tribute to the 70s. So we headed to the back of the ship. And oh my goodness, it seemed like everybody on the ship was in that place. It was packed. Couldn't get a seat anywhere, but we just stood at the bar, and it was actually quicker for us to order a drink with a waiter that was passing, as opposed to trying to get the bar staff's attention, because they were just so busy.
I feel like the bar staff don't even want to serve you at the bar because they just want to get the little ticket from the machine, make that drink and set it there. And I totally get that. Like, for efficiency, it's probably better that they just don't communicate.
I know.
But at the same time, there's a bar there, and you sort of think, oh, could one person not serve a drink, you know?
Yeah. But, so we stayed there and had a couple of drinks whilst listening to that band. And then after that, we headed then up to the Sky Dome to see the Sky Dome show, which we didn't realise at the time, but it was the exact same show we watched before. But it was fine. It was good. Like, you know, we did enjoy it, and we were able to get a cocktail and just sort of chill there for half an hour, watching this show, and it was really good.
Yeah, it was a good day.
So that brings us to the end of us telling you about our day in Ålesund. It's been a great day in port. I've really enjoyed this port, despite the weather not being great to begin with. And definitely somewhere that I'd like to visit again.
Definitely. If you've liked this video, please consider giving us a thumbs up down below. And click subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.